Hi guys, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining my live. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Happy Friday. Yay. Weekend. It's about to go down. Thank you for joining. Thank you guys. Happy Friday. So today is going to be an interesting session because I'm going to be hosting someone from Canada to tell us how we're going to be relocating to Canada. So you don't even want to miss, this live session at all. Our guest relocated to Canada by the express, entry procedure and all. So that's what we're going to be talking about, how to move to Canada and everything. Guys, this session is going to be packed. So I'm just going to add our guests now and then we get right into it. Yes, to join us. Who is Beaver Apparel? Pregnancy look good on me. You're the one who gave me. Hi, boobs. Hello.
Here.
We
Okay.
can't see you. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Okay.
Guys, let me give you guys a very quick background story, right? Ebube and I were working together at the same law firm in Nigeria back then, many years ago. And we were both like jackpot buddies, but we both had like different countries
Keep it.
we were interested in traveling,
I don't
to.
know
I was like
why.
Team UK and then Ebube was like Team Canada. And it's so amazing that it finally worked out for the both of us. Like we were both in our desired, countries. And then I remember back then, the first day you did like maybe your police report and you came to that law library upstairs and you're like, I've done my police report. And I'm like, hey, boobs. And you're like, you better try this Canada. And then I'm like, no, you too, try UK. I've also paid my school fees. It's such a beautiful journey having someone that relates with you, like you guys have the same goals, and then at the end of the day, I mean, UK is in Canada, we both got what we wanted at the end of the day. So thank you so much, Ebube, for coming. And the beautiful thing is Ebube also works in a law firm in Canada now. Like, guy, when I saw your profile on LinkedIn, I was like, yes, lucky lawyer, now Canada lawyer. So thank you so much for joining my live session today. I really, really appreciate it. So we're going to just give you like 2 minutes to tell us about yourself, your journey, and then we'll go right into, our live session today.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. It's Splash. You can hear me clearly, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. It's good to see you again. Like it's been a while. So I'm a lawyer trained in Nigeria. I relocated to Canada as a permanent resident. Right now, the position I have is a legal assistant position, but I just passed the bar exams, Also, yeah. So,
Yes.
so very soon we'll be called to bar in Canada. But as of now, that I'm
Lawyer.
speaking to you, I'm only a lawyer in Nigeria right now.
Business.
And I've been on this journey for a while. They talked about it. So this chatbot thing, it may just click fast for some people. It may take some time for some people to just do your best. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
So we're
you
here.
so much. So today we're going to be talking about the express entry. I really want to understand because I know back then you're always like, oh, express, we're in a pool. I'm waiting to be out of, and I'm like, hey, God. And I will go back and Google online, like,
It's
oh,
I
there's
have a
not.
question. Sorry, don't. I can't see you.
You can't see me.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm live. Guys, can you see the two of us? Because I can see you. I don't know why you can't see me. Like, I'm waving my hand, like my pretty face.
Mm.
Guys, can you see us? Can you see the comments on the comment section?
I can see the comments.
So I'm supposed to be above the comment, like the
Yeah,
screen
but
is
what I'm
divided.
seeing is black. But just continue then. Continue. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
everyone can
But
see. You will have to watch
yeah.
the
So
replay.
it's
And
only me.
yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely from your side. Sorry.
Okay.
Well,
So
we can see
continue.
you at least.
Yeah.
So I know then you were talking about entering the pool. You were saying a whole lot of things. But the beautiful thing about express entries, at least you're a permanent resident. Like this is a journey that might take me up to 5 years, in the UK to achieve. But this you got from Nigeria, and that's amazing. Like, the greatest thing that can happen to an immigrant is to have your stay settled. Like, you're already a resident of that country. Things become so much easier for you. So can you just tell us, the whole process? What is express entry? Is it the same as work visa? Like, what would you say when someone, just like a layman, asks you, what is Canada express entry all about?
Yeah. The lay way I say it is that Canada has devised a means to harvest and to take skilled people, educated people, families, young people, get them to immigrate to Canada. Because Canada has labor shortages, has an aging population, and wants people to come into their country. But they set a system, like a complex system, that they call it express now, because they packaged it well. They set up a system to harvest those people, to get those people in. So it's a system that people create their profiles, using different indices like your age, your education, your skill. You're able to enter a system where Canada then gets you to become a permanent resident. So that's how they get people, they encourage people to come to their country. So because of the incentive around permanent residency, so a lot of people move into it. It started in 2015, and I don't know if I should talk further.
Yes,
like, it has three.
please
There are
explain
three.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, there are three main groups of it. Is run by the federal government. IRCC is the federal government, that's the federal body that handles it. So there is the federal skilled worker, which is the one I'll be emphasizing about, and that's the part I used. So there's also the federal skilled trades. So these ones they don't necessarily have to go to higher institution. It's about some occupations in like in manufacturing. Then you have the Canadian experience class. So federal skill worker is actually very popular. So it's through this platform that people can enter, create a profile, what we call entering the pool. So you have to come up with an English test, assess your degree, and then you're able to enter that pool with your profile and everything there. It's from the pool that they then send invitations to apply. So in express entry, you cannot apply for permanent residency if you are not invited. So that's the invitation to apply. So the major thing people do is to package their profile to enter into the system, and it's from that system that the Canadian government then pulls people that they give invitation to apply. So every time there is a cutoff score, there's a cutoff mark that they give. So periodically, every now and then, they just did this year, and they cut 546 this January 11 or so. Then December, they also cut. The all program draw was 524 thereabout. So in my time, it was 478. Wow. Before when I got it, it was around 440, 451. Wow. So as more people are knowing about it, people are trooping in, and the scores are getting high and all that. But that's why we're here today, to bring up some other strategies on how people can actually get it.
Oh, wow. Thank you. So then when you did it was 417. Like, immigration is becoming something that I think is scaring the Western world as well. They are trying to only bring in the best of the best. Like, they don't just want to bring in anyone to come and be a nuisance in their country. They want to bring in the brightest of the brightest. So now it's about 500. So how can I be in this pool? What are the things I need to do to be in this pool for a start?
Yeah. So I know that some people may prefer this idea. I want to use my story, then just talk with myself, all the steps I followed, and then someone listening to us may now find where they can plug in. Okay, so first of all was information. You get information about it, like you're here today, you've heard it somewhere, someone told me about it. So the first thing I did was to get a passport, as basic as it is, international passport, because without an international passport, you can't write IELTS. So I needed to write an English test. You must not write IELTS. That's IELTS. There is also CELPIP now, CELPIP. So these are English tests, and because I know most of them I'm talking to are English people. So you need to write that English test. So I used my passport, booked it. There is the British Council for IELTS. There is IDP. I used IDP. So you book the test. Then I also encourage people, as you're trying to get that English test, start assessment of your degree. It's called the ECA, Educational Credential Assessment. So we have bodies like WES, World Educational Services. We have IQAS. For me, I use IQAS. Then if you are a doctor, a physician, there is bodies for medical something of Canada. I think I wrote it down. But there's a special body for that. And then there's a special body for pharmacists. I just can't remember the names now. So you get your assessment. So the reason I say this is that the time it can take to get the body being assessed, your education, that is your certificate and your transcript. So your institution will send the transcript to them, to the bodies, the respective bodies are called. So the time it will take for that assessment to come out, you can actually register your IELTS and start studying. So those are the two main things that I know nobody just has those two things. Every other thing, normally you have already gone to school because we're going to be talking about how to get additional points, right? So at least get a BSc in a bachelor's degree. If you get something higher, when we talk about additional points, it will help you. For instance, if you're a lawyer, your law degree is calculated as a master's degree at the same level as a master's degree is a professional degree. So you get the points from that, so it's a high level of point. That's about 126 with spouse, 135 without spouse. So it's very high. It's like a master's degree. So that will tell somebody that if you have a bachelor's degree, now that a competition is high, so let's just be very honest now. So you need to do anything to get you to have maximum points. So let me not get you lost. Two things I've said now.
Yeah.
English test, your language test,
and then
and assessing your degree.
Your degree
So
assessed.
those are the two things, because there are numbers inside the English test, and there is a number in the report that will be given to you after assessment, the ECA report. So those two numbers, you will need it to be able to enter the pool. So I also encourage people, even before you do this, right? You start. There's an ability to start from the end, to see the end from the beginning. So there is a CRS calculator.
Okay.
CRS calculator. So I am trusting that as we mention certain things, even if we don't have all the time to break it down, like mention keywords, you can just put it on your Google Box, and look into it more than I even said. So CRS calculator is a comprehensive ranking system. So, that's the system that you work with, the points-based system. So you can actually go do a simulation, sorry. You open
To
and
see what
just,
your score is.
even though you've not written IELTS, you just put some scores. So for the English test, in fact, both of them, it's just that the scoring is different. So there is what they call Canadian Language Benchmark, CLB7, is what is required of you, basic. That the implication for that in IELTS is that you get 6 in all components. Yeah,
6 across all components. So
Yeah.
you're writing, you're listening,
Yes.
you're everything, speaking, you have to have 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the 6 of them, you're able to get 6 in all of them. That's the
That's the
basic to
lowest you
even
can
be
have.
eligible, because there's this eligibility
Yeah.
test. So there's this eligibility test. So if you don't even have this, you need to write that IELTS again.
Wow.
If you have this and you have your report, your ECA report, you can actually enter the pool. So how I want to end this session is strategies to get more points. Okay, so this is the basic. What I'm dealing with now is the basic. So CLB7. In CELPIP, it will be 7 across all components, because the max in CELPIP is up to 10. So that's why it's 7. Okay, so people have been saying good things about CELPIP recently, that it's even easier. That's what some people say. So you can consider that. But in my time, English tests using the IELTS was more popular. You can also take a second language, French. CLB4 is what they require from you. If you get up to 5, better. So if you're able to take a French language test, that gives you an advantage. A province like Ontario, they've done specific invitation based on French language. Even Canada has done that. So if you have additional language, and they don't even expect the best from you, just CLB4, be able to hit that in your test. I think one of the bodies that do French is TEF. So if you're able to do that. So for basic, your English test. You must have it. You must have it. If you're coming with a spouse, if you get your spouse to do the same thing, do their reports, their educational credential assessments, as well as their IELTS, they can add more points for you. But you can decide not to, they don't have to do it, and they will still accompany you. They don't have to do it. But if they don't do it, it shorts your score a little bit, just a little. But if they do it, it can add more points to you. Okay. Yeah, so those are the two basic things. You then use it and enter the pool. So to enter the pool, there are links for this. The links are just there, you know. I don't know if it will be posted here, or if some of you, I'm already seeing some people following me, and I'll be glad to release some of those things to you. Okay, so so when you're done with this, you need to have these two things to be able to enter the pool, because they're going to ask for it. So you then do an eligibility test. This is different from your CRS calculator.
Okay.
Your CRS calculator gives you an idea of where you are, gives you an idea, you know, with your age, because from 20 to 29 is when you get the best points in the system. 20 to 29. So from 30, your points drops by 5 marks.
Hey.
So you just play around changing distance. Check, what if I get a master's degree? What if I study in Canada? What you just play around? What if I do better in my health? What will be the effect? What if my brother that is in Canada suddenly gets permanent residency? How much points will he give me? 15 more points. You play around these things. And so to enter the pool, you then have these two things, IELTS and your degree. Then you go do the eligibility test. There's this eligibility, check if you're eligible. If you finish that thing and they find you eligible, they send you a code. Is that code you then use to submit a profile. So you go in and then create a profile. All these things you did before will start coming in. There's something I did not mention, because you don't need to go any special step to get it. Like your education is expected that by the time you come for this thing, you should have an education. It's expected that you also know about your NOC. And it's not like you expected. You should know, right? It's one of the things to check out. Your NOC is your National Occupational Classification. So you go and check what your job, your skills, what you're doing, what you've done in the past 10 or 5 years, or what does Canada call it? They come up with different names. So I can use lawyer, for example. I know you understand where I'm coming from. So lawyer, you will see job titles under it. It's called lawyers and notary publics under the National Occupational Classification. So it's giving the code 4112. So that thing you are doing, there will be a code for it. So you need to find it out. There will be a code for that work you're doing right now. And for lawyers, there will be job titles like associate, counsel. If you remember anything, just jump in. Judicial, this one. Legal, this one. In-house counsel, corporate lawyer. So different job titles, still speaking about lawyers. Okay, so as it's coming to my head, as in something is coming to my head now, I think I should just drop it immediately. So when you check, also check job in demand immediately in Canada, in different provinces. So if by chance you see that instead of claiming one particular area that is not in demand, but you know that the job you did, although they were calling you so thing, so big title, but even it can even be a bigger title, but you actually are doing certain job description that fits another thing that is in demand. If you use that thing that is in demand to enter the profile, it can give you more chances of getting what they call provincial nomination, because there's another thing called the provincial nomination program, which gives you 600 points. So if you are ever able to get provincial nomination, you are good to go. I don't care how much points they got it. Sometimes they even do a special draw for provincial nomination. So Yetunde, please help me. Have I lost people? I feel like I'm traveling.
No. We're following. Trust me, we're following.
Okay, so the work experience is best to get the best points, get 3 years work experience. So this is referring to work experience outside Canada. So there's Canadian experience class, which is different from federal skill worker. You can be eligible for both of them. If you work for 1 year in Canada, you qualify for Canadian experience class as well. So somebody like me, I did not go to Ghana. In fact, I've never gone to Ghana. Till now, I've never gone to Cameroon. Like, I've never traveled anywhere outside Nigeria until then. So my passport was even the first visa on it. So the point I'm trying to let you know is that I've never worked outside Nigeria. So I've never worked in Canada. So my foreign work experience, I waited for you to get to 3 years. So I think I should say this for somebody looking for more points, right? When I started this process, I was at 2 years at the bar, so I was working for 2 years. So while my assessment was taking time, my educational assessment was taking time to come out, the points just jumped. That's how I kind of slowed down in quotes. So I waited to get to 3 years. So when I got to 3 years, I got enough points. So the cutoff then was 473. In the draw I got, immediately I turned 3 years. I just got the next draw, I was just invited. So if you are here, because I invited some people that I know that in my head, as I'm inviting them, I know this person are not eligible yet. In my head, I know, but it's something you prepare ahead of time. So you may even need to just build your work experience. You may even need to, for instance, you are still in school or something. You need to start packaging yourself for where the world is going. It's Canada you are heading to. What is Canada looking for now? For instance, they have done specific draws, they've done certain notification of interest, NOI, from Ontario province. So they've given tech people that are into tech draws. Then they are giving for health workers as well. Health workers include nurses, pharmacists, doctors, specialists in surgery, physiotherapists. So you see now, so people in this area, if it is Canada that you want to go, I'm telling you, just get your work experience ready. There is a shortage of labor in that area. So they can just come into the profile and look at what they need. So that's why it's good. Don't forget what I'm about to say now. Even if you feel your point is not so high, enter that express entry profile. Enter there. And it will be wise to package yourself to enter there with what is in demand. So while you are there, even though your points did not reach the all program draw, a special thing can come up. They can do maybe a STEM occupation and get you in. They did agricultural occupation the other day. They can do tech. They can do special programs and just get you in. A province can just see your profile. So when joining indicates that you are ready to go to all the provinces, they can just come up with a pilot program and get you in. Okay, so that's it. You will need your work experience as well. You also need proof of funds. So don't misunderstand something. In the first place, you wouldn't need to submit any documents while entering the pool. I'll say it again. You don't need to submit any documents when entering the pool. Just be ready to submit them when invited. But you will need the numbers from your English test. You see why you have to do that English test. It's not when they now ask for it, you get it. No, you need to have that English test ready, your language test, and then have your
passport,
your educational credentials. Yes, you have those things because you need to impute it then. But the time to submit the proof of fund, for instance, now when I mention proof of fund now, you are not bringing any money. You are not submitting any proof. You are just indicating that you are bringing this amount. So there are different ranges of amount for different levels. Like a single person right now is 13,757 Canadian dollars. So the best thing to do is just put in that you are coming with this amount when creating the profile. So you are not bringing it. It just tells you to get ready to show proof of it. For instance, your work experience as well. You need to have prepared to present. So it's like front loading for lawyers. So, sorry, it may not be exactly the same concept, but you have to say the places you worked. You have to have provided it for the duration. So that means you have also gone behind the scene to make sure those employers will give you the letters. Because what you need to prove your work experience, you see now I'm getting back to what you need to prove the work experience is letters from your employers. Letters confirming your employment, confirming it was a full-time job, confirming that you are being paid, confirming the job description, matching with the NOC you are claiming. So that's the letter you need. So, but while entering the pool, all you need to do is to just say you work for that employer for so time. So that means the day they now give you invitation, this is where people have problem. The day they now give you invitation, you will now be ready to submit all those things.
Yeah.
So if you say something that you're not ready to
Then
prove, that's the beginning of the
yeah.
failure.
Wow.
So don't claim whatever you cannot provide.
Yeah, only claim
Okay.
wow. Thank you, Ebube, for that. So I would like to ask, is there like a deadline of being in the pool?
Hmm?
Is there a deadline of being in the pool?
Not necessarily.
Like
I
if I create
think
my
you just
profile.
IELTS can expire in 2 years. If
Oh,
someone has experience on that, you can just type it in. IELTS usually expires in 2
yes.
years. Maybe it's 3 years. So if your IELTS expires,
Yeah, you
you
kind of
understand?
like dropped out. You have to come back
You
into
have
the
to,
pool.
you have to do it again. And just enter the profile. Updates can come tomorrow. You can enter the thing and just get additional work experience. You can enter the pool and go and write IELTS and get a better score. You can enter the pool and then you get a master's degree. Then you update it or you create another thing. But just as soon as you can, just enter that pool.
Okay.
Something can happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think is the cost implication, time processing for all of this thing? Because the way you're saying it, it looks like Canada is going to be it's for the patient one, like people that it's not for those that want to say, no, let me not say Canada, let me say express entry, right? It's not for people that will say tomorrow I'm packing my bags, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
You know, with UK, you can still come in. I mean, admission is still open for February now. You can still get offers and then you come in, and by February you're in. But if you're doing express entry, with the way you mentioned, it looks like something that you have to prepare your mindset for. That look,
It's
this
a
is the way.
preparation.
So
Like,
it's not a hustle kind of jackpot like I'm packing my bag. So would you just give us like the amount involved, the time frame, and all of that?
Okay, just because of what you said now, the processing time, COVID is done. The processing time is back to normal. It's 6 months processing time. So if
when
not
you,
this,
sorry, when you say 6 months plus the time you're in the pool, or is after you're being nominated?
No, that's what I want. Yeah, I'll explain it. So the 6 months is the processing time after you submitted the application. So Canada does not care how long it takes you to position yourself. So it may take longer. Everybody's case is different. Well, from the time you submitted the application, it's 6 months processing time. But you don't know how long it took you to get your IELTS, how long it took you to get your reports. For somebody that needed to build work experience, for instance, if you're in 0, you have to work for 3. You know what I mean? You have to work for a while to be able to do that. But somebody can just be listening to us right now, and you are ready, and you submit your assessment, you do assessment, and it comes out in say 3 months. It can be less, and then you do your IELTS and you just get the required score. You can enter. You can be in Canada this year.
So it's just like a faith kind of journey. Like just put your mind off. Don't be going back to check your profile every 1 minute. Like they've not called me yet. They've not. It's not that kind of person. Okay.
Yeah.
So now
anybody
that
here giving.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Go on.
Yeah, like it's basically something like you can't even apply if you are not invited. Okay. Are you getting
so you just
funny
have to
scenario
keep
about
waiting.
it? Yeah, it's not something that is 100% in your control. You can be doing some things to give you points, but if you are not invited, you can't just apply. There are other visas. You wake up and apply. You want to study, you just apply, right?
I totally get.
For instance, my wife came here. I had to sponsor her. We just woke up and applied, but you can't apply if you are not invited to apply.
Okay, I get that. So how much do you think the whole process costs?
Okay, the
Canada Express
price. Sorry, I also missed that. 1,000. It has increased. It was not up to this. 1,365 Canadian dollar for an adult, one person. If you're coming with your spouse, same amount as in times 2 now. So same figure, 1,365.
Is that application fee?
Is the processing fee is 850. The right of permanent residence is 515. So together, 1,365. That's the application fee. Yeah. Then each dependent child is 230.
Oh, okay.
Getting the per chance. If you see any question that matches with what you have always wanted to ask me, you can also ask me.
Sure, we'll go to questions shortly.
I'm seeing how much is IELTS. I'm seeing who can nominate you. Yeah, so I can just quickly say that usually provinces have to nominate you to the pool. Provinces. There are about 10 provinces in Canada. How much is IELTS? I don't know the current figure now. You can just check on the website. 880 something thousand. The last time I checked.
Something like that.
Okay, yeah, you can continue. If I see any question that won't affect my flow of thought, I can just answer it immediately and continue. Yeah.
So now that the cutoff point is high, what would you suggest people can do to improve their score? Because you said you came in with 470 and now it's already 500 and did you say 20 something? Almost.
Yeah.
Wow.
The last draw was 546.
46.
This is all 546, all program draws, right? 546. Then December, or the last one before then, that was all program draw, was 524. So you need to do that CRS calculator and see where you stand. That's the first place you want to improve. If you want to get better at something, you need to know where are you right now. Okay, so you start with that and see where you are. Then even when you also submit your profile, they also tell you, like I've guided some people to enter the pool and be there, and anytime somebody tells me they got, I'm so happy. For instance, so answering your question, additional points, somebody I know entered the pool and stayed there for a while, but the sister was already in Canada with study permit, studied work while all these things was going on, and then got permanent residency. So she immediately claimed the 15 points, no time. Claimed the 15 points, and the next draw that they did, she was already positioned. She just got it. They did 480 something then, and she was already in 470 thereabout, and she just got it. So that's the first.
So having family members help.
Yes, and the family member is clear, brother or sister or half brother or sister.
So not the one that my uncle, cousins,
my father, this is my great grandfather, senior your brother.
Okay.
Yeah. And we need to prove, true. You can claim it, but when it's time to now prove it, you have to show a certificate, like birth certificate, attestation of birth, showing at least having same parents, either father or mother. If you're able to bring that, you are good. So I've said of 1, so that can just give you 15 points. But immediately, I won't wait to say this to you. This sibling thing, it sounds just 15 points, right? Some of the things I'm telling you now, if you get these additional points, that's in your federal scale worker, these 15 points it gives you does not leave you with only these benefits. Having a sibling, wow, I see a family member that just did like this. Okay, yeah. So it doesn't end in just 15 points. You can, based on there's provincial nomination. So provincial nomination program. Ontario can also see one of these provinces can count to provincial nomination, because one of the things they look for is that you are ready to settle not just in Canada, in that province. So having a sibling, they can add to the reason why they can give you provincial nomination to give you 600 points. So that sibling thing is an advantage. Okay, so you want me to go ahead and talk about all the possible strategies, Abby, to get more points? If you work in Canada, there is additional points. I did a YouTube video on that. My YouTube channel is Ebube Godwin. So if you work there, there is 30 to 80 points for working in Canada. 35 to 80 points just that you worked in Canada. So for 1 year of skilled work, if you work in Canada for 1 year, 35 points, So you see the benefit it gives you, 35 points. It doesn't leave it there. It makes you eligible to join the Canadian Experience class. So if they do a special draw for Canadian Experience class, you can get in. So I see about statement of account.
Yes, people have been asking that the proof of fund, how long are you supposed to present?
So just remind me to get back to where I was. So proof of fund. They mentioned the amount. They don't necessarily need 6 months bank statement from you. They don't. There's a clear link on the website. I studied it and interpreted it in my own scenario. So what they need from you is a letter from the bank. That is what Canada websites say they need. A letter from your bank, expecting certain information from that letter. But then the bank sometimes don't give all. For instance, they say your average balance for the past 6 months. So because some banks won't give you all those details, that's why you get that letter confirming you have the account with them, and possibly they will even agree to state the balance you have in that account, but they won't say the current balance. They won't say, some of the things in that letter. So you then get bank statements that then supplements the other information they are looking for. So I got my GCMS notes one time, and I was able to see what the officer did in interpreting my case. So he saw the letter and he saw my bank statement. So he wrote on the note that he was 6 point something million in conversion then. I think I needed to have like 12,000 something then, or 6 point something million. Who knows? Who knows what it will be now? So 6 point something. So they confirmed that this amount shows that he reached equivalent of what is required. So is that bank statement that may now show? So people ask, how long will you need to be there? I did 4 months, and I'm here as a permanent resident. I didn't do 6 months, because in my case, the account I used, 6 months, it will be so heavy. I tried to compress it, it was no longer clear. So I reduced to 4 months. So if you have, just show some months that the money, and that money needs to be explained. If they see a sudden income, it may be a problem. But if I know somebody that was able to do have this mutual fund is an investment. So if you're able to show an investment account, so this person didn't show bank statement per se 6 months. You just showed that he transferred money that she called her savings. She transferred from her bank into the mutual fund. Then the mutual fund agreed to give letter. The letter they gave was even has all the requirements, explain how much it is in Canadian dollar. This is one of the things they need. They say that letter has to even say how much the Naira equivalent, that is the Canadian dollar equivalent. Some banks don't have time for that. They won't even do that. So you now need to use the letter of explanation to say that this amount you have is equal to this on this date. Then I attached a screenshot showing the conversion. So the 6 months bank statement is not compulsory.
Okay.
But it helps explain how you got that from.
Does the bank statement have to be your name, or can it be your partner's name or anybody's name or your parents' name?
Okay, in this particular thing,
for Express.
thank God there may be differences. It is you, because you are coming as a skilled worker. That is that you have money, that you can take care of yourself. You are not coming to be sponsored. It's you that can sponsor somebody else later.
Okay.
Do you get?
Yeah.
So it said that you have the money. So people get gifts from family. So this is a special strategy that if you don't have the money and you can't explain a sudden income into your account, you get gifts from family members. Parents is more. So instead of having that money in their account, they transfer it to you and put a deed of gift explaining it. So when they see that sudden, I even went to the extent of getting Notary Public to stamp it for me as a confirmed stuff. So you do that, and that explains the sudden income, that came into your account. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. So go back to your point. The final point we're on before we end the live session is about extra points.
I was in work in Canada. So you see, this gets me to say this thing again. If by chance Express Entry does not click for you the way it clicked for some of us that were able to just pack our bag and move the permanent residency on day one, just working in Canada can be just coming here to study, or okay, that's the next thing. So working in Canada can give you more points and can make you eligible for Canadian Experience Class, can make you eligible for certain provincial nomination. Okay, then if you study in Canada, you can get 30 points depending on the number of years of the study. Then it can also make you eligible for provincial nomination. For most of these provinces have the international education stream, for people that studied in their province. So when you get the provincial nomination, you're required to live in that province about 2 years, most. So there are provinces called Atlantic province. They are in the north. They include Nova Scotia. So somebody may need to take this thing down. You can go exploit Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Edward Island, then Newfoundland and Labrador. So these provinces are kind of looking for people to come to their province. is a little bit colder, less populated, and so they are finding a way to keep people in their province. So if you are choosing to study in Canada, consider studying in such places. It's not compulsory,
In
right?
cold places just to get.
As you, as you do your research,
Yeah.
check for what you are willing to do. Check
Yeah.
for what you are willing to do. Are you willing to go study there? Sometimes the activity is actually cheaper. So they
Yeah,
have
like
that stream.
Saskatchewan now is cold, but the fees there are quite
Yeah,
reasonable
yeah,
compared to
yeah,
other provinces.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I also tell people, I made this statement in my YouTube video. Ebube Godwin is the name of the YouTube channel. I made this statement. Permanent residency is a destination that you can get to using different pathways. So this particular federal skill worker is a sure way, but there is also some other platforms you can just use to, get in there. So you can even come to Canada first, and then so you can gain, if you gain more work experience. I say this in person, that this work experience I'm talking about is foreign work. You can start packaging yourself to go for things that they need. For instance, a student is listening to us. Decide the kind of thing you want to study. You want to go abroad. Don't go and study anything. Hope I'm not something annoying. Don't go and study anything.
Yeah.
So you do things now with vision. Gone are the days let me just study. Do things with vision. Do things with what you want to do with this degree. So sometimes I tell my dad, thank you. This is my lot thing that
No,
I had
it's
some.
always like a very I always tell people it's I don't know. If I come to this one like 20 times, I'll definitely study law
Yeah,
because it gives you that platform. It's just there. It's relevant in every way. You can work in medical line later on, you can work in compliance, any sector, they will always need a lawyer. So it just gives you that,
yeah,
leeway. The opportunities
yeah,
abound.
yeah,
Even if you're not
yeah.
practicing, once you say that, oh, you're a lawyer, it becomes easier. Anyway, wow, I promised you 30 minutes and I've spent 45 minutes of your
Okay.
time that I did not even pay for. And I know how expensive it is to get you to even sit down. Oh no, I'm really appreciative of this. Thank you so much, Ebube. I really appreciate. Guys, we've come to the end of the live session. Ebube's channel is at Ebube Godwin. If you really need everything about Canada, just go there. That's where you will find it. And you can also follow him on Instagram. Ask him reasonable questions. I'm sure we'll be able to provide answers. I know you guys have lots of questions. If you missed some of your questions, we've answered at the beginning. So we're going to save this live session on my page, then you can always come back to watch it. But you can reach out to Ebube. His handle is on my page, is on the flyer as well. And you can follow him on YouTube, Ebube Godwin, if you have any information. So finally, Ebube, you're just going to tell us in few words, how is life in Canada? What has changed for you since you left? Would you recommend it for someone? Like, just be sincere. Your sincerity is what we need now.
Ooh. Thank you for asking me to be sincere. Okay. Canada is not for everybody. I think that's the best good sentence I should make. It's not for everybody. Beware of when you listen to I'm beginning to enter content creation now. And when I finish getting my license, so now I give free information. Very soon I'll start charging
Thank
people money.
God I came when you were
To work
free.
for people. Yeah. So that's the point. So the point I'm trying to make is now listen, be careful when you listen to us, when we step into that place where we want you to pay us to and be careful, please. I don't know. I didn't say that disclaimer. I'm a licensing candidate, though. I'm being, I'm have to follow rules. I'm not giving immigration advice.
Okay.
I'm not giving legal
Yeah, of
advice.
course.
Everything I'm saying here
It's based
is
on
not
your
immigration
own.
advice.
Yeah.
It's not legal advice. The place I'm coming from is a place of free information with my friends and social network, right? So I'm just sharing free information. Okay, so Canada is cold. If you're against cold, like you can't even stand it, you may decide to.
Come to
This is
the
just a
UK,
minor thing.
fam. Come to the
Yeah. Then there is this thing about, you have to go extra mile to prove yourself in a foreign land.
UK. Yeah.
To prove you can do it. It can make you depressed if you don't know how to handle it. It can make you question yourself. I know a lot of people here people are depressed. Forget picture with snow. This snow is only fine in picture. This snow, I don't find it funny. It represents cold. You come outside. I think it's Calgary, Alberta right now. I think they will have -50 this weekend.
All the best to you guys. -2, I'm already freezing.
Yeah.
I can't imagine 50. Hell no.
Yeah.
Not a place for me.
Yeah. Then you stay where you are and you browse income. How many $1,000 you use your Nigerian calculator times this thing? You are blown.
Yeah.
They are bills though. They are bills, and the bills will not be in naira. It will be
Of course.
in
But
this place,
generally,
right?
would you recommend Canada for someone? I mean, you're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is this other side that is not common, but Canada is a wonderful place where you can grow your career. Like you can really, it's a global place. I recommend, as in anybody interested. But I won't just, you have to
You
you
have
have
to be
to
prepared
know something, read about,
mentally.
hear
Yes,
from
you have
some
to
of
know.
us. If you are not kind of ready for that life, where bills are monthly, But if you want to grow career here, very, very well, you can. Then for someone that you want to get this permanent residency, you want to be sure you are relocating. You can talk about UK. I don't have so much. Yeah, Canada has, as in, it's a bit clear of becoming the permanent resident. Whether through getting it from Nigeria, from wherever you are, or coming here and eventually get it. So it's clear. It's a nice place to be. They need people to come in, but when you come in here, your work ethics will actually stand out. It will help your work ethics. Serious hard work is here. Okay. I don't know if
You
I answered it to the
did,
best
you
of.
did. You like, and I really, really appreciate your honesty as well. Like, the good, the bad, the ugly. By the end of the day, it's a personal decision if you want to move abroad, and it's amazing. So whatever you want to make of it is what you make of it when you come,
Yeah.
anyway. So thank you so much, Ebube. Again, I'm so sorry. I know I told you to not be more than 30 minutes, but I'm a Nigerian girl now, African time.
Yeah. It's something I actually want to help people. So if you don't even mind, I don't mind listing out 2 or 3 more things for additional scope.
Okay, please go
And
on.
then I'll just go like that. So I think we did justice to it for a while. Some of these things, we need to ask more questions, we need to do more research, we need to slide into DM, and thank you, Yetunde, for having me. Like, you've been working so hard. Like, I saw you last, in Lagos. You are building your channel, you are building this content creation thing. I didn't know how far you've gone. There are people that know you in my circle. Like, they say, how do you know her?
It's God.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ebube. And thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sure we've answered majority of your questions. This session was about express entry. So if we didn't, go into other categories, maybe that's what your question is all about. We're going to save this live session for you to watch. Thank you, Ebube. I cannot thank you enough. This was a free live session indeed for me, and I really, really appreciate it. And I'm so glad that you're finally in Canada, because I saw the hustle behind this Canada. You were every day. I'm in the pool. That's all I've been hearing in the office. I'm in the pool. I'm like, hey, which pool is Ebube in every
And it
day? I'm in the pool.
lasted for long. It lasted for a while. Plus
I'm still
COVID,
in the
even
pool.
after
I'm still in
applying,
the pool.
COVID
I'm
now
still in the
came.
pool. And I'm really glad at the end of the day, Canada chose you as well. So thank you, Ebube,
Yeah.
and thank you guys. See you guys next time. Stay blessed. Bye,
Yeah. Take
guys.
care. Yeah.